All right, welcome back, everyone, to Blue Collar Startup. I'm your co-host, still a co-host, Mike Nelson, here with our host and visionary founder, Derek Foster. What's up, Derek?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I am well. Good. You're going to notice a little bit of different audio quality. We've got 5 people in the room.
Full house today.
Full house, yeah, on 3 microphones. So it might be just a little bit different than it normally sounds, everybody. So thank you for your patience. Blue Collar Startup. Each episode, we sit down with blue collar owners, managers, staffers, you name it, laborers, whoever we can that can give us a little bit of insight into the day-to-day workings of their blue collar business, and also to help educate and empower the next generation of those people. So we're ready to get started here. We're here with Hunt Companies. Is it HC? I'm looking at your logo. It's HCI, right? Hunt Companies Incorporated. And we're here with Juan, Jason, and Matt.
Yep.
We're not going to use their last names to protect their, anonymity. Guys, go ahead. Juan, let's start with you, and we'll just kind of work through all 3 of you guys. Just kind of give us a little, quick rundown on who you are and kind of what you do at Hunt Companies.
Sure, I'm the Chief Financial Officer. Been that since I retired from the Navy back at the end of 2014. And
thank you for your service.
Yeah, my really vision is looking 6 months out, a year out, 5 years out, 10 years out. That's basically what I do. So if you go by my office and I ignore you, my mind's 6 months out. Really, the
everybody ignores me, Juan.
So. Yeah. So the challenges of 6 months. Okay, we know we got work probably till March. Okay, so what happens if we got a 3 or 6 month slowdown financially? How much, money do we put in motion? How much money do we have to save for a rainy day? That's really what I do, balance sheet, profit and loss. Been at a construction company for almost 9 years, and I'm proof that just because you work at a construction company doesn't make you a carpenter. I like to remind everybody that, okay? I can drink your beer, but I can't fix your toilet. So.
All right.
But, it works because, as we've talked about in the past, our father-in-law did it all, and it really put a ton of years on his life, took away actually quite a bit. And it was purposely put 3 of us to kind of separate parts of the business where I've handled the finance and admin, Jason's operations, and Amy as the president. And that has really worked well to keep us being able to really excel on all parts of the business, because I think a small business, you need both the headquarters vision as well as the execution and operations in order to sustain a small business, especially in today's environment.
There's no way one person can do it all now.
Yeah, and it's really is different kinds of people, right? Like I look, like I'm more of a vision guy, and I can see where I want to go, but I don't know how to get there most of the time, and I need that operations person to really, make sure that it happens. And
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah. And you've got an amazing operations guy now.
Yeah.
Integrator.
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes, yeah. Eric.
Eric,
Yeah, he was great. He's a veteran too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 9 years. And again, and you said, so you guys are second generation, right? So it was Jason's father, your father-in-law, right, that started the business?
Yep.
I'm curious a little bit about the backstory with all that. Like, how did Hunt Companies originally start with your dad?
Originally started. So I think he's always been in the construction industry of some sort. And in '86, started Hunt Companies. Did mostly residential work like anybody would, odds jobs here and there, and then just slowly grew people. And I think I'm not exactly sure how it started as far as McDonald's.
He was so there used to be a McDonald's in Queensbury. So if you remember that, you've been here a while.
McDonald's? I actually don't think I remember that.
And he was working next to it. GC that on the McDonald's project asked for his help. He jumped in. As like usually what happens with new customers, the GC stubbed their toes, then they went directly to him to work directly with corporate McDonald's, and that took off the 25 plus year story of how we worked with McDonald's.
Talk about an opportunity.
Yeah, right.
An opportunity.
And a well-seized one, for sure. Yeah, because now it's McDonald's, Taco Bell's, like now are they kind of like all through? I don't know how that works. Like, are they like all owned by the same company at the end of the day, or?
No.
Okay.
No. So they're all franchises, right? So McDonald's is just McDonald's.
So Taco Bell heard about how great you guys were and called you guys up?
More or less.
Yeah.
I mean really.
That's awesome.
A lot of word of mouth type stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you just get those opportunities, and think my father did a good job of communicating with these operators, with corporate, and developing a good relationship, and that travels pretty far, pretty fast.
Communication's huge. Or we actually just had an incident yesterday where some poor communication happened.
That happens.
It did. It does, and it was on both sides. You know, like we all accepted responsibility and we kissed and made up. But it literally was just bad communication. Yep. Client said something, we took it the wrong way. Yep. We acted, and we went in the wrong direction with what he said. We did the opposite of what he asked. Okay. he said, "Don't do this." We did it, right? And then coming back on the other side when we were trying to fix it, it was a mess, and we fixed it. But yeah, good communication is important. So tell us about your day to day. So you're the operations guy. Juan's the finance guy. Yep. You're the operations guy. What does that look like?
Part owner now, right? Me and my sister are now owners, and vice president. And I don't know if there's an official title. We'll call it director of operations.
Yeah,
how's that?
That sounds great.
So basically, I control the day to day of the schedule of the guys. I do all the estimating for all the projects. We do have a maintenance and repair division, so I'll schedule crews for that. I mean, it's a little bit of everything, like any business owner does. Multiple hats, right? Wear multiple hats and do a little bit of everything. So I still like to get out in the field too. So I don't like to put down my hammer quite yet.
So you can drink the beer and you can do the work. Is that
yes,
right?
Yes. And at the same time.
At the same time?
It's practice.
That's right. That's right. And you guys are Argyle, right?
Out of Argyle,
Yeah. Are you from Argyle?
So I grew up in Argyle. So I'm going to say this. I'm originally from Western New York.
Okay.
Born there. That's where all my family's from.
Yeah.
We moved out here when I was in second grade. So yeah, raised in Argyle.
Raised in Argyle, yeah. I love Argyle, man. It's a great town.
It is.
And now you can buy beer in Argyle.
And now you can buy beer in Argyle, yes.
Yeah. For those of you listening that don't know, Argyle until, was it 2 years ago? Was a dry town, one of the last anywhere, I think in the country.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
For real.
But it was always, it was just kind of a cool thing. And then interesting that Argyle Brewing Company was actually had to be based outside of Argyle.
Yep.
But now you guys got a brewery up there.
Now there's a brewery.
Scotlander.
Scotlander, yeah. Yeah, right. They just took that over. I forget what it was called before.
Highlander.
Yeah. Is it any good? I haven't been up there yet.
Another Argyle resident.
Yeah. You're another Argyle guy? Good. It's a great town, man. So let's jump over to the Matt. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing every day? What's your role in the company? Why are you the future?
I started in November with these guys, and I've always done residential, probably for 15 years, I would say. Mm-hmm. So the commercial was kind of new for me. But they hired me on as a working foreman, and quickly, now I'm going to be taking on this Dunkin' Donuts job, so be a site super there. But I really do enjoy it. The commercial side of it was a little learning curve for me. We were just talking about this yesterday, but I'm starting to grasp the changes. I mean, it's pretty similar to residential, but there's differences for sure.
Tell us about some of those. So if someone's listening, because I know that we have people that listen that are only doing residential right now. Maybe at some point they want to jump into sure. commercial. Why is it such a different animal, or what's the challenges about the transition there?
It's not really. I wouldn't say it's really like a challenge. It's more of just language. Definitely the pace. The pace increases for sure. I mean, you're getting a building done in 3-4 months compared to a house that's 9, 10, 11 months, depending on what you're doing, the size of it. But I mean, you're dealing with commercial kitchens now. You're dealing with different building materials, stuff like that.
Crews are the crews larger? Is that why one of the reasons why? Do you go with bigger crews to get the work done faster? Or?
I don't necessarily think it's bigger crews. I think probably the challenge there is you have more crews, more subs on site at one time than you would residentially. So there's a lot to handle. A lot of coordination.
Right. So, I mean, you're dealing with a residential side of it, you're dealing with framers and plumbers, electricians, and here you're dealing with the same thing, but you're also dealing with pavers, asphalt guys, landscapers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're juggling that, and they're all doing it at the same time. So like once somebody can get in the building, they all want to be in the building to get in and out. So the pace is definitely more.
Yeah, I imagine, like you said, like Dunkin' Donuts, like they want to get it open, right? So they're probably, I just think of like a jockey whipping a horse kind of thing, like, come on, we got to get to the finish line, man, as quick as we can, right?
Yep.
Which creates a lot of pressure, I'm sure.
So when I jumped on with them, within a couple months, we were starting the Popeyes, which we wrapped up just recently, but that was a start to finish for me. So I learned the ropes pretty quick. So, but no, I do enjoy it. Like I said, I did residential I still do it, but 15 years or so, and it's just a different pace. And a little more travel. Obviously you got to go where work is.
Yep. Now, do you guys do more than one job at one time, or is it typically kind of roll out that you're on one job at one time?
The record is 7 major projects during Christmas. Was it 2019 to 2020?
I think so.
I think it was that.
7
during
the holiday.
During the holiday. So
Merry
this was
Christmas.
either a new or rebuild and a major reconstruction project. I think back in 2017 and 18, we tried having one superintendent run 2 projects at the same time. That worked, but it just drained. I mean, you really stretched the team.
Yeah.
But we prefer to be in what?
2 to 3 major projects at one time. 2 is ideal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't put as much stress on the crew and the people in the office, but 2 major projects is good.
I mean, I imagine it's got to be a lot, right? Between trying to arrange materials with all the shipping and supply chain problems that we've been having, and then your labor force and, just the whole, right? Making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be and on time, and then...
Or even there.
Oh, right.
One of the major challenges we had was these 2 new builds that we're going into now were offset by 30 days, and it would have been perfect because you're taking one subcontractor, finishing, rolling right into the next, and you've got this really smooth transition and can use a smaller group to finish both. Then permitting issues happened, and now we're kind of stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have a 2-week offset.
Reevaluating, can we use the same subs, or should we go get some other folks? And so those are the challenges that happen, and with permitting, really, that especially the last couple of weeks of the permitting, that's really an interesting challenge for us, especially since post-COVID, where they're basically going back to the pre-COVID rules, but only half staffed.
Right. With less people,
Yes.
It's amazing how COVID showed us all that we could do a lot more with a lot less, I feel like. I know, like, even now we're almost back at our pre-COVID levels business-wise, and we've got half the amount of people.
Yep.
And I'm still marveled that I was like, man, we were really sitting pretty fat before, like I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm like, how are we doing almost the same amount of work with half the people? But of course we do, tire our team out a little bit. But.
Right. You do more work. We are still missing quite a few people, though. I mean, there's still the labor shortage. I mean, you know it. Oh.
What does that look like for you guys? Having to turn these projects over so quickly. I mean, do you have a lot of in-house staff that typically use?
We've got, ideally, we sit about 12 in-house, crew members. Right now, we're at about 9 or 10. So, we're still a little light to where we'd like to be. A lot of subcontractor work, but even the subcontractors are light on manpower. So every time we ask a sub to step up and get something done, they're saying the same thing that we're telling, our customer. So it's a trickle-down effect, and it's not getting any better. So right now there's two problems, I think. One is just people wanting to go back to work, so trying to find people to work. And then the other one is trying to find people in the trade that are skilled. So right now we're kind of reaching outside the skilled trade area to find people that just want to work. We'll train you to do the work. So it's really, the problem's twofold, and looking to tackle both of those.
Where is everybody? I know we keep asking that question. Right? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Same question. Where'd everybody go?
So we're still not in the same environment that we were in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Student loans haven't restarted. They're just now starting to do checks and balances with some of the state and federal funding that they push out to people that do need them. And so I think we're still a year and away from really people that will have to work. And if you look at all the banks, all their fancy quarterly statements that they send out, a lot of the deposits that they call excess deposits due to COVID are virtually all gone now. So one more year, I'm very confident. And if you look at who's coming back, it is those folks in the prime age of working that are starting to come back. And
Yeah.
Again, our country's population is getting smaller. And so at some point, we're just going to have less workers if we don't open up the door for immigration and other measures. But I think if we just hold on for another year, I think things will get better. But it really comes down to leadership. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I call Matt the future, Jason's the future, because if you got the leaders, that will offset labor challenges. We'll bring in technology to help a little bit, and whatnot. But you get a leader that can solve problems, you're ahead of the game. And that, I think, for our company where we've got the operation leaders where we need, and we've got the people in the headquarters, the leadership teams. Now we just need some of the support.
And now developing the support stuff, yeah.
So what does that training look like for somebody new coming on board with you guys? What does the training look like? How long is that training period? Is it a constant process? Constant learning process?
I think it's a constant process. So, I mean, we offer outside training. So we'll send people to BOCES for, if they want to take the carpentry class or the electrical welding. We do touch all of those aspects in our field. But primarily, I think it's all in-house training, on the job, in the field. In the winter times, slow month or whatever, we will do specific training in our warehouse. We've done some sheetrocking and framing and stuff like that just to get people more familiar with it. You take a new carpenter, pair him up with a seasoned carpenter, and like all of us came up through, it's learned by experience, and it's really what you need. And we do work pretty close with BOCES as far as, we've had interns that we try to get in and out into the field and help them and show them kind of what they can expect and try to get them to like it in a matter of 2 hours, 4 hours a week. It's just tough. But, we have an in with I don't know what they call the class over at BOCES. Is it construction or is it?
They have,
what Bruce had called it.
Yeah, because we had Bruce Hoffman came on the show, and Dr. Tarina Parker also came on the show talking about the different programs they have over there, and I was fascinated by the fact that they have the adult classes, right? Yeah. And I thought that was great. Like, I keep saying I want to go do the welding class. I just really want to know how to weld. But
actually, I'm on a committee that does scholarships. We hand out scholarships for the adult learning at BOCES.
Oh yeah.
So people looking to get into any of those trade programs, truck driving, welding, anything. There's scholarships out there to do that stuff.
It's really just getting the message out, I guess, right? Like, I have to imagine there are people that are out there that want to acquire those skills.
Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing people that are transitioning from corporate jobs that are no longer.
Yeah.
Right? And trying to find something else at our age, adult age.
Yeah.
You have to go back to school to get some of this training. So
I know it's tough for people that are our age. That's in quotes because Matt looks quite a bit younger than the rest of us. But I was thinking about, because I was also thinking about the way that we hire, because right now, like, our modus operandi is to hire young kids out of college because they're inexpensive, and then we help to train them and bring them along, right? And that's kind of what we do. And but at the same time, what that means is for an older, aging workforce, someone like myself, it's hard for us to hire those people because their salary expectations and compensation expectations are so much higher,
right?
And we just can't afford it. Like, I couldn't afford to hire me. Like, if I walked in my door and was like, "Hey, I want to come sell for you," I'd be like, "Sweet, dude, I cannot afford to pay you what you're about to tell me you want to get paid." Like, how does commission only sound? So, like, it's it's just I think it's great from the trade standpoint of being able to say, hey, like you can go out and, I mean, because what are welders getting paid right now? You know what I mean? Like what's a finished carpenter making right now? Like that's good money.
It can be really good money.
Yeah. Whereas, trying to go into like a company like ours, like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to pay you anything. Like, yeah. And we're gonna insult you with what we're gonna say we can pay you. So like, sorry everybody.
The trouble is we've got, it's an aging workforce, right? So all of our highly skilled carpenters they're aging out in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's really not much of a middle ground there. You've got very few, Matt's one of them that are, that prime age that have the skill sets to do the work. And
right.
The older guys don't want to train the younger guys. They just don't. But they don't want to take the time, whether they want to get compensated to do the training. So you're trying to get the guys that are at the prime age to be able to do the job, to also train the younger guys that come in. It's a tough balance, but if you don't get the younger guys and kids coming out of high school interested in it,
yeah,
you're not going to find them. They're not going to come.
And we know they're going to jump jobs. We know that we're going to lose them in 2 or 3 years, and we're okay with that.
Yep.
Because what we're really doing is setting up the next company that they're going to. We're going to bring them in. We're going to give them teamwork skills. We're going to give them carpenter skills, and they're going to rebel like teenagers do. But they're going to learn a little bit.
Yep.
And they're going to go to a second job. And we've had many of our younger folks go to second jobs in construction, a third and fourth. And
We've had some come back.
We've had plenty come back and say, okay, yeah, I've experienced it. Yes, I was getting a little bit more, doing a lot more work. And this, this is actually really good. And I think that's kind of the expectation is we're going to train them. We're going to give them every skill and opportunity. We're going to try to make the benefits as best as they can and the culture as best as they can so they want to come back or they want to stay. And those that do leave, we're setting up the next company to have a good teammate. And that's what we live by, and that's what we've been doing for years now. So.
You bring up culture, and I know Derek and I talk a lot about culture, and Derek especially in his company has done a ton working on the culture over the years, and really then using that culture to hire and fire and grow. I'm just curious about what are you guys doing from a culture standpoint? Or I mean, do you have specific things in place, or is it just the way that you are, or what can you tell us about that?
Sure, I got this. No, really, we do have core values. Yes. We definitely have, vision in where we want to be as a company and individuals, and it comes down to, can we give the team more than what they should be getting? Can we be above? Because it's a global world. Our kids that are growing up in high school now have opportunities to go to school, not just in the Adirondack, but across the United States and across the world. So in your industry, especially, it's you're somebody can live in Argyle and work out of New York City. So they're getting New York City pay and a little bit less for a construction company where they have to swing the hammer in order to make progress. But we still have to compete with Albany, and we know that. And so we build our company around the ability to provide. It starts really with the pay and benefits, base pay and then benefits, and continue to increase those benefits as often as possible. Then you just have to care about them in ways more so that, not that they're your kids, but they're somebody that you really care about and that you want to see them succeed. So there's other things that we do, and whether it's being company loans, whether it's financial, whether it's moral support, whether it's going above and beyond so they can buy the first house, and you can see the joy in their kids' face when they say, I've never lived in a house before and this is the first time. Small thing, victories like that. And you're going to get burned, and it's okay. But you really put them first, and you put them always. The Navy said, mission first, sailors always. It's really we brought that same philosophy to the company where we've got to, if we can't accomplish the mission, none of us are going to be able to run the company, and the company's not going to be able to be here, but we can always take care of the people always, and that's kind of what we do.
That's awesome. Yeah. What do you do to kind of make sure that goes from the top down? from a day-to-day basis, like coming down, like from you guys where you're living that, you believe it, and then getting it down to, say, Matt on the supervisor level, and then down into the laborers and the carpenters and do you have anything that you'd put in place to kind of help get those messages all throughout the company?
I think it's in our actions.
Yeah, you can't say it. You can put core values on, stick it on the wall.
Yeah.
Motivational posters, stick them on the wall. We've got that. We got.
Yeah.
But you're right. When Amy and I and our son Ethan are marching in the Argyle parade for the Legion and in the banner, Matt's there with his kids marching two groups down with the kids in the youth sports and so you have to live it. This is why between Amy, Jason, and I think we're on 8 to 9 community boards.
Yeah.
Because if one of our core
Which
values
is one of our core values.
community, we have to show the team. And we've had other employees who wanted to join community boards, and yes, you go join. Make sure you mark your time, because that's Hunt Companies is paying you for that time, and go represent yourself and your community and Hunt Companies well. And so it's definitely, like Jason said, short version is your actions day to day.
Yeah.
So community being one of the core values, so we sit on boards, we give back, we try to be charitable, give to organizations that we believe in, but we also ask our employees the same thing, whether it's a monetary donation to, I don't even know, to somebody, some organization, or if it's a time thing. We've done it before where we, donated our time to improve an office space for them. We work with Habitat for Humanity and
Give them 6 days this holiday season, catch up on their Glens Falls project so they can not only get caught up, but get a little bit ahead so they can have that family in the spring.
Yes, that's right. So it was 2 weeks right between Christmas and New Year's. We took a crew of guys to the Habitat house. We did a bunch of work for them. Now, we donated our time, and we paid our guys to be there.
Yeah.
And they know that they're getting paid, but they also know that this was a donation. So everybody was happy to be there. It was a different pace of work. Everybody got to have a little more fun, enjoy the time together. And I think that was pretty big.
That's fun. And we take our guy. We do a lot of charity golf events, and we bring our team in. Those are wonderful days.
Yeah.
You a good golfer? Who's the best golfer out of you three?
Oh, Lord.
I'm not raising my hand.
He's not here.
Everybody's looking around.
I can swing a baseball bat pretty good. If that tells you about my golf game.
But that's another one where, usually the charity golf events, and we'll take, through the, 8 that we do a year, we'll take the team members with us to each one of them. And so everybody gets to go. They get experience, the charitable part of it, the having some fun with the guys outside of work. They usually see people they know from work, from different companies. And you get to spend some time away from that environment. And again, it's paid for them, so there's no stress, that I'm missing a day of work type of deal. It's
Right.
Building that community.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's funny because that's originally, I didn't meet Juan and Amy, but I can't remember. I know you guys were nominated for one of the small business awards, or I don't know if it's small business, but it was one of from the Chamber Business Award ceremony last year. And I think Amy got up and was just talking about the community and about the importance of, small communities and being involved. And I immediately was like, I want to talk to these guys. And then I connected with, I think the Chamber, somebody connected me to you guys, and we brought you on the Buy and Local podcast. But but again, it was just based around community, because we're the same way. Like, community is also one of our core values as a company, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make our local communities better and stronger. And so I thought that was amazing. And you guys definitely, every time I turn around, I see you guys doing something that is supporting, whether it's supporting Glens Falls Today like you do by, placing an ad that's not even for yourself. It's for other people's businesses.
That was supposed to be a secret.
I know, but it was when they told me that, when Kate told me that, I was like, these guys are amazing, right? Like, you really do live that community vibe. So I think it's great. I think it's amazing. And that's one small piece of the many things that I've seen personally that you guys do in the community. So I think it's great. Absolutely great.
I think it's important to give back, right? The community gives so much to us. Even though we work outside the community, the community gives so much to us, and the growth and the place to do the business and the place to raise our kids.
Yeah.
You got to give back.
Yeah. how you change the world, man.
Yes.
Right? Start at home.
Yep.
So, so it sounds like just like a lot of people, right? And I know we've got Doug Ford is coming on.
Yep.
From
It's
Kurt.
next week, I believe.
Is it next week?
I think so.
Do you guys know Doug from Curtis Lumber, and he's involved with the workforce development initiatives that they have? Because again, everybody's feeling that.
Right.
You know, it's a huge topic in all the trades right now. Is where is everybody? Where's all the workers? Right. What other kind of challenges do you see as an organization outside of the workforce? And
So right now, workforce, supply chain is still a big issue.
yeah,
And part of that supply chain is still, it involves the workforce, right? So we're running into this with these last couple jobs we just did, the jobs we're starting now, materials, items, air conditioning units, HVAC units, 30 weeks out. Well, it doesn't work in a 12-week project. And you find out what's the delay in these things. It used to be they're a dime a dozen, and now they can't get anybody to produce the machines. They can't get the parts from overseas. It's trickle-down effect, but it's still a lot of lead time issues with materials, specialty materials. It's nuts.
Do you think with everything that's going on in the world, like we've got the whole Taiwan situation, we've got the Ukraine Russia situation, like we have all these things going on overseas. Like, do you see it getting progressively worse from a supply chain? Like I read an article about Russia's getting ready to use warships to blockade Ukraine with the wheat stuff. So I'm just like, wow, man. Do you see the supply chain stuff getting better, getting worse, or it's just going to continue to be who the hell knows what's going to happen next?
He's the forecaster. Yeah. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, if the cost of lending stays high, which it will for at least another 10, and then gradually slow down 10 months, that should help slow things down because now they're a bit more restrictive of who gets money for construction. But there's so much money on the table for construction that you're still weeding through that money.
Yeah.
The question is, can we have enough of these plants or manufacturing plants in the United States to where issues overseas do not impact us like they are now? So, the game plan was to manufacture, 5 years ago, manufacture overseas. It worked. Look at the supply chains working great. Everybody's doing well. All of a sudden, you've seen these major worldwide disruptions, and it'd be nice to have some of these manufacturing plants back in the United States.
Yeah.
Yes, is it going to cost more? Probably.
It's already costing more.
But look at what it's costing us now.
Yeah.
So it's, we have to start building in the United States manufacturing plants that'll give us some relief from issues in, Asia, issues in Europe.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key, and hopefully we're not too far behind the power curve where that's happening. Right? We got the farm, wheat issues from Ukraine should probably not be affecting the United States if we've got this many farmers that could be helping us out and running support to the farms that I think have been neglected for so long that we've got to throw our entire. That's another community I think that can use as much community help as possible.
The farming community?
The farming
God,
community. Yeah. Yes.
Well, and again, I mean, if you listen to anything that I say, everyone knows I'm not a big fan of government involvement in anything, but. Well, we just kind of keep screwing over the farmers, right? Like we just did the labor laws that we just changed on those guys to, for the overtime rules.
Yes.
On it. Like we're just making it harder and harder on them. And now we're trying to place more pressure on what chemical inputs they can use to help grow. Fuel cost. Yeah. Like we just, keep making it harder and harder on those guys. And as someone I'm growing my first batch of wheat this year, and I can tell you that shit ain't easy, man. Okay. So holy moly.
I don't know if they realize it. We don't eat. Nothing else above that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole no farms, no food thing, and no food.
Right.
That's going to have an effect on everything pretty quickly. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. We definitely need to. I think we need to do more to help our farmers. I think we need to do. I mean, again, I'll get on my soapbox and start doing stuff. But I'm with you though, man. I hope that they do create an environment that is enticing for manufacturers to come back to the U.S. and start building stuff here. That's crazy. So supply chain.
Yeah. supply chain's big. Cost of goods, another one we just mentioned, right? Cost skyrocketed a couple years ago, probably tripled. They still have not come back down to where they were pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Just got a letter earlier this week, concrete up another 5% here going into the next quarter. So, price increases are still happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fuel surcharges are still going up. Gas prices did come down a little bit. Fuel surcharges still going up on everything. Now we're getting delivery charges on stuff we never got delivery charges on before, which is crazy. Material costs those fluctuate so much, but they still haven't come down enough.
How do you react to that, or how do you deal with that situation when you're building a Taco Bell or a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's, and all of a sudden your costs go way up?
Again, luckily, relationships, right? Exactly. Our relationships with all of our partners, Taco Bell, McDonald's, they're so good because we had this exact scenario play out where we were in the middle or beginning stages of a build, and then material prices tripled. So all of a sudden, listen. We went to our customer and said, the price for this material tripled. They could have turned around and said, well, here, your estimate was this. Sorry. But no, they said, give us your price. If you have the receipts to back it up, send those and we'll make it good. And they did.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And it wasn't just one customer, it was multiple customers, and they've been really good.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough scenario. I remember during COVID, we put a pool in, and Mike Sprague over at Sprague's over and give Mike a shout out. His team did a great job. But we had signed our contract in 2019 for a 2020 build, not knowing that a pandemic was going to hit, and he was just like, "Wow, you guys are really lucky." That he's like, the cost would have been like 40% more. You know what I mean? But he had to have some of those conversations with people that were talking to him about a pool, and then all of a sudden, hey,
yep,
it's a tough conversation, and amazing that those guys were just like, yeah, hey, if your costs went up, just let us know, we'll make it good.
Obviously they wanted proof, right? It wasn't just we'll take your word for it. But they did, and they made us right.
Yeah,
it says a lot about you guys as their builder,
Yeah, how they look at it. Yeah, right. How they look at the relationship. Yeah, absolutely. Where they're like, we don't want to lose you guys. Whereas a lot of companies out there would be like, hey, sorry, man.
No, the one that quickly popped in my head was the one that was almost 6 digits in material price increases. And once he called our president, Amy, and the quote was, "I don't like this, but I know it's correct, so you're getting paid."
Wow.
And that relationships have saved us on many occasions, and we go overboard with helping out customers. Sometimes we get a little flack for it, but it's okay because, we've had customers in one fast food industry or one construction department in a company, 6 years later go to be a part of a different company, and we're getting a cold call. Hey, so-and-so from this company remembers you guys. We need a general contractor for this area. And within 2 months, we've won a new build for them at seven figures and plus, and it's just their relationships are so vital.
That's gonna feel pretty good, to get calls like that based on.
Yeah, again, a relationship with customers, relationships with our architects, our engineers, suppliers. All these guys we're getting calls from different people and finding out that it was an engineer we worked with that gave us gave them the recommendation, and it's fantastic.
What do you think? For someone listening, what's the key to forming those relationships? What do you do that gives you such a solid relationship with your customers and people that you're working with?
I think it's multiple things, right? It's communication. So having the open communication and being honest with them, for one, right? No BS. I don't want to say giving them what they want, because you can't always do that, but we do in times bend over backwards to do that. And part of the honesty is even right down to the estimate is, we're not price gouging here. They know we need to make money. We know they need to do it as cheap as they can, and we try to do what we can to make both sides, happy.
They don't ever feel like you're trying to take advantage of them.
Right.
or take advantage of their relationship, which I know that happens.
Yes.
People do it all the time.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, the key is not max profit on every job. That's really way down on the list of things that, and it's a great, when you're having a beer at the bar, that's a great way to run a company. But when you're really running a company, you've got to save the relationships. It's got to be relationships over profits any day of the week, because those relationships have opened so many doors for us the last decade. It is ridiculous. And we've had to say goodbye to a few customers because the relationship didn't matter. And for us, that it matters. And we've, thanked them for their service and to the time. And we said, we just won't be working together again. So
I'm writing that down. Literally, I'm writing that down. Relationships over profit. I just like that a lot.
The profit will come, right? I mean, the profit comes.
Yeah.
When you have customers, and it's not just our franchise customers. It's any customer. You're probably gonna have repeat business, but specifically with franchises, how many McDonald's are in New York, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ton.
Yeah.
So there's work out there, and you're not gonna ruin that relationship with that customer over one project,
One situation. Yeah.
when there's 20 more behind it.
How many McDonald's are there in New York? You think there's hundreds? Decades? Yeah. I never really thought about
real
how
estate
many.
owner in the
Yes.
world.
In the world, yeah.
I think McDonald's is like, I always talk about and think about McDonald's because I'm like, what industry do you think McDonald's is in? I ask people that question. They're like, oh, well, they're in the hamburger business. I'm like, are they? Or are they in the real estate business? Or are they in the supply chain business? Because they are the ones that supply every one of those franchises. And I just think it's such a great model that you build a product and then you build the demand for the product. Right? And so that whole model just fascinates me. I'm like, man, that is amazing to me. Right? They just, their distribution centers just crank out food to every one of their locations. And it's like, and they make money on every end of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
I am not in an industry where we can do that. You know who else I love that's like that too are the tree guys. They come in, right? They come in, they cut down the tree for you, and they're like, "Hey, do you want us to take care of those branches?" Like, "Yeah, could you do that?" Yeah, we'll chip them up a little extra. Yeah, no big deal, chip them up. Do you want those chips? No, no, I don't want those chips. So then, a little extra, but you can pay us to haul them out of here. And then you do, and then they haul them back to their yard, and then they sell the wood chips to somebody else. I'm like, man, these guys are amazing. Like this is,
or the logs for firewood.
yeah, man, it's just that there is every step through that process, they have another outlet for the waste that they're creating. It's amazing.
You do the same thing on the farm.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Grow the wheat, make the wheat into beer, sell the beer, give the waste wheat to the pigs and the sheep and the chickens, and we're getting there. We're getting there slowly and surely. It's a lot more work than I anticipated. But there's beer. But there's beer. So, actually there's cider right now. I just did a couple batches of cider. So, guys, I know we're getting short on time, and I'm super grateful for you guys all taking time off and coming down here and talking with us and trying to help other blue collar business owners and tradesmen.
I got one final question. So for an 18-year-old kid in high school or just thinking about going to college, what advice would you give them if they're thinking about getting into the trades? Where should they start?
So I'm in this situation right now. So I've got a 17-year-old, and it's right. That's the big question: is it college? Is it trades? What is it? And I think the big question to ask the kid is, what do you like to do? Because ultimately, if they're a person that they like to work with their hands, they like to see immediate results, then the trades is a good spot for you, whatever trade that might be, because it's a physical task. You get to work with your hands. You get to be productive and build something that's tangible. You can see it. End of the day, end of the week, you can see the result. And I think that's really the tantalizing part of construction, right? Is to see what you've done at the end of the day. Like, hey, I just built this thing, and it was nothing before. Now look at it. And that fascinates people, and that's, I think, what drew, me into it. I would like, most people that like to build, that's it. So I think that's where you got to start is what do they like? If you want to build with your hands, if you want to see results, then it's really endless. I mean, in our organization, you can come in as a laborer, but I might be biased, but I don't think there's a ceiling. You know, as you age, you become more seasoned, more skilled. You progress through, you know, your carpenter levels. You become master carpenters. At that point, you know, you can become foreman and a supervisor. Now you're running jobs. So now you get to the administrative side of the project, as well as still be able to build and see results. And then as you age, you know, there's project management, there's estimating, there's so many things, avenues that still keep you involved in construction. But as everybody ages, you can't do construction forever. So be able to stay in that field somehow, I think there's still avenues and opportunities.
Yeah, well, I would imagine the more people that you have that are at that level also allows from a scalability standpoint for business, right? Because now these are people that can now be leaders in your organization and allows you to, you know, grow horizontally, not just vertically, right? In the organization.
And, you know, so it's not a dead end job.
Yeah.
I think people look at, you know, blue collar as in it's you know, you can work from here to here. It's a short window to work in, and you're going to age out and you're going to beat yourself up, and that can happen. And it does happen, but there is growth. So
yeah, if you're in the right organization and the people that are leading your organization know how to grow and scale, there's really no end in sight, right? You're only limited by the amount of talent that you can recruit.
Add in leadership and management training, which we provide as well, and you know, really sky's the limit.
Yeah, it's awesome.
In my opinion, I would say do both. You know, do the college, try a trade in the summertime, you know, as a summer job, because I mean, my kids are young. My oldest is 5, turned 6, and he's always right next to me. Wants to, because I do a lot of self-taught things. You know, I work on dirt bikes and build carpentry and stuff like that. So he's always following me around. He wants to build stuff all the time.
It's awesome.
But, you know, the feeling of being able to just do things yourself is awesome. But also you're doing the school part of it to learn leadership and learn the admin side of it too, and not just swinging a hammer. So you don't, like you said, phase yourself out kind of thing. So I definitely recommend both for sure.
Yeah.
Good advice.
I mean, that's kind of like, that's what Derek did.
That is
Went
what
to
I
college
did.
and
Right.
swung a hammer when he wasn't in school, and then launched Dangle Cleaning after college. I mean, it's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, where can they find you? Do you want them to find you?
We want them to find us, yeah.
So we definitely want workers to find us. You know, we
Here's my cell number.
as much as we're involved in the community, we do it because we love the community. We one of the things we caution is that we don't like to be the company that says no, because after McDonald's, Taco Bell, Popeyes, Valvoline, we're always talking to stewards, Dunkin', government work, and you know, 1 or 2 other customers. It's hard to put other stuff, but we've done pole barns in Washington County. So you know, if you're gonna call us, you know, just do it with a smile and know that just it gets very busy very quick for us. And huntcompanies.net or on Facebook, if Hunt Companies in Argyle. There's another Hunt Companies in Texas that we usually get confused with, but that would be it. And if we have some great videos on our website, huntcompanies.net, a hiring video for you to see what we're about if you're looking for a job, and that video is on our Facebook page as well, and it tells you exactly what we are and who we're looking for and what you can expect once you walk through that door looking for an application. So did that
awesome.
Video with the local media company, Gazai Media,
2
years ago, and it's been on our...
Yeah, Sean and Corey, right?
Yeah,
those guys are great,
great
man.
guys.
Yeah. They're great guys for sure. And they just did the video for the chamber too, for the Jucket
Yes,
Awards.
they
Yeah,
did.
did a great job on that.
Absolutely.
Good dudes for sure. Well, guys, thanks again for coming. Again, I
thank you for
can't
having
say
us.
thank you enough, and for coming on the show and just everything you do in the community, and it's great. So, thanks again, and please tell Amy we're sorry that she couldn't be here with you guys, but.
Sounds good.
She can come next time when you have us back.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great, man. That sounds great. And everybody, if you can, check us out, bluecollarstartup.io. You can find all of our episodes on there, and also we've got our blue collar blueprint where we're adding some, and I think we're going to try to get some more content up there soon. It's a free membership, guys. It gives you a bunch of extra content from blue collar business owners and workers, and also people outside of the industry talking about different stuff. So that can be helpful to you in your day to day. So give it a look, check it out, and you'll hear from us next time. Thanks, everybody.